and welcome once again to our monthly show, The Sky Above, where we talk about all things happening in the sky in the upcoming month. I'm your host, King 5 meteorologist Aaliyah Pizzetti, and we have a lot to get to for the month of July, from this month's full moon to multiple meteor showers to the chance to see the galactic core of the Milky Way. And later on, I'm going to be joined by University of Washington scientists who have been helping launch a brand new telescope that will give a better picture of outer space. But first, we will start, as we usually do, with Keith Crum. Keith, thank you for being with us today.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone has been loving your expertise so far.
Well, so that's great.
I really appreciate you coming back. Thank you, Keith. And for those of you who have not met Keith, Keith retired from Boeing and is now a volunteer with NASA's Solar System Ambassador program that focuses on education and outreach with all things astronomy.
Yep. Indeed.
Amazing. Okay, so we are going to start in the way that I like to start every month, with this upcoming month's full moon.
Full moon, yeah. Full moon coming up on July 10th. It's a buck moon.
Okay.
The buck, yeah, from the antlers of the buck.
But it has a lot of different names.
Yes, yes. Thunder moon, hay moon, salmon moon, raspberry moon. Yeah, you know, I even like the Celtic one. There's a Celtic one.
And these, as we've talked about before, these stem from Native American heritage, correct?
These are Native American.
And they make sense when you, okay, so buck, right? Okay, the antlers, thunder, we get thunderstorms. Hay, this is when you're cutting hay. This is when salmon are starting, raspberries, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the different nicknames. Okay, so this full moon will be July 10th at 1:36 in the afternoon. When do you think will be the best overnight hours to see it? Will it be that night before or that night after?
Either one. It's just going to be beautiful and bright, and you won't really be able to see much else in the sky that night because, you know, night vision counts for a lot.
Yeah.
And the moon tends to take that away.
Right. Okay. But then on the flip side, we have our new moon on July 24th. That will be a better opportunity to see things, stars and other.
Yeah, when we go out to the dark sky site with our telescopes and really try to get into looking at galaxies and nebula and all that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a great time to get out there.
Amazing. And we do have a lot that's going on kind of in those July 20s. So that'll be great to see all of those cool things. Okay, and let's talk about some of those meteor showers that will be visible in July. We have a couple, right?
Yeah, a couple of meteor showers. Yeah, we have the Perseids is the big one of the year.
Okay.
So, let's touch on that one first. It doesn't peak until August 12th, but it starts in July.
Okay.
And you know, it is huge every year. I mean, we really want to get out there in the dark sky to see it, and we want to make sure that we look in the right place. So that would be in the northeast.
Okay.
And you know, it's Perseids meteor shower is every year. It goes through, we're going through the tail of a comet, Swift-Tuttle Comet, which you know, is now, it's way out there now. It's a big comet, like 20 miles in diameter.
Oh, wow.
It goes, you know, it sheds off stuff, you know, little pieces of ice and rock, and that comes streaming into the atmosphere at 17,000 miles an hour and makes this great show for us.
Wow.
So that's the one we really want to.
And this one has the potential to see a lot of meteors per hour. Yeah. It does kind of seem like a big-ish range, 25 to 75, with the potential for 100. How do we know? How do we gauge how many we'll potentially see?
Well, it's a good one, mostly by history.
Okay.
You know, historically, this is the kind of numbers that we end up getting to.
Okay.
And when you look this up on a sky map or an app or something, it'll tell you when it is exactly and how many they predict. And it's based on historical norms.
Okay, so technically that peak doesn't come until August. But obviously we're talking about July here. It'll still be nice in July though?
Yeah, I think it's worth going out and at least getting prepared, knowing where to look, looking it up, getting ready, but then for sure getting out there in the August time period.
Oh, that's incredible.
Should be good in July too.
And you can see this with the naked eye?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, amazing. All right. And then let's see, do we have another meteor shower?
Two others that peak on the same night.
Okay.
July 29th.
Oh.
The Alpha Capricornids
okay.
and the Delta Aquarids.
Okay.
So they're much smaller, you know, between 5 and 20 a night, but still, you know, a good time to get out there and check those out, especially since we have two sort of close together in the same night.
So at the same time is when they're peaking. Does that happen every year?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
We're going through the same tails of comets about the same time every year.
Okay, cool. And I mean, meteors, I think we've all probably seen a meteor, but for someone who maybe hasn't dabbled in intentionally going out to seek out a meteor, what do you look for? How do you know what you're looking at?
Well, there are those beautiful streaks in the sky, you know.
Yeah.
They're these tiny particles, maybe not even as big as your fingernail, that just come streaking in at this high rate of speed. And that generates a lot of energy, and so you get these nice, beautiful streaks through the sky. Sometimes they're really quick, sometimes they last for a few seconds.
Okay. I always think about, gosh, as a kid, you lay out and you go, oh, shooting star.
Shooting star, yeah.
Are those actually meteors that we're seeing?
Those are meteors you're seeing, yeah. Nice. It's a nice thing to say, a shooting star.
So we're not wishing on shooting stars, we're wishing on meteors.
Definitely.
Okay, but it sounds like we'll have some opportunities to make some wishes in July.
These are good ones coming up.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's get to another cool event that's coming our way. This July, the galactic core of the Milky Way is at its highest visibility. Oh my gosh, what a sentence that is. So let's see, that is coming up in July 24th.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is that going to look like?
Well, you know, in a dark sky area, you'd actually get to see milky. You know, the sky looks milky because it's, you know, a lot of stars there toward the core. So you look to the southwest and you can see the core of the Milky Way galaxy in, you know, 11, 12 o'clock at night when it gets really dark.
Okay.
And, you know, be sure to let your eyes adjust to the night sky. We talked about this.
We talk about this all the time, and you have your red light.
I do.
I keep my red light in my bag.
I brought another one tonight with it's actually on my pen. So there you go.
That is nifty. And for those of you who haven't watched before, the red light is good for your eyes to adjust because those white lights that you typically would see with maybe your phone flashlight or a regular flashlight, that is going to make it so your eye hasn't adjusted to the light, right?
Yeah.
So we need that red.
That's right.
That'll make it best for your eyes to not be hindered, because you get out there early, you let your eyes adjust, and you don't want to break that with any light.
You know, you need 30 minutes or so to let your eyes adjust to the light, and then use one of these, or my pen, and you know, then don't put your phone in front of your face, because that'll set you back to where you were half an hour earlier.
Oh, interesting. Or maybe, how do you take photos then?
Well, you can use the red light function on your phone. That will help. And so, yeah, that's probably if you really want to take pictures with your phone, then use the red light function on your phone.
Okay.
Most of them have that.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Milky Way is just such a beautiful sight.
Yes.
Why should that be the thing that people try to go see?
This time of year is the best time of year.
Okay.
First of all, we can rely maybe on good weather. Secondly, it's higher in the sky this time of year because of the way the Earth goes around the sun.
Yep.
And so it's just really a good time to go out there at new moon. New moon. That's why we emphasize the 21st.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about those 20s, because we were just saying when the moon is the least bright, that's when we can see everything else in the sky. There's a couple other things going on this month, in the month of July, with the crescent moon. We have a couple star clusters, right?
Yeah, well, the Pleiades star cluster is usually a winter thing we look at.
Okay.
But in July, if you get up really early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and go out, you can see the moon, the crescent moon, occulting or going in front of the Pleiades star cluster.
Okay.
Pleiades is visible with the naked eye, especially if you use averted vision, which means kind of look out of the side of your eye.
Okay.
But binoculars are good.
Okay.
And it's a crescent moon, so it's not too bright. It's still kind of bright, but it's not too bad.
You still get to see it in the sky, but it won't take over. Okay, and then Venus and Jupiter?
Yeah, right. The next day, actually, after the 20th, the 21st, on the 21st, you can see the crescent moon right above brilliant Venus. You know, it becomes the morning star, as we call it, right? It isn't a star either, with the morning planet. Yeah.
And that is visible with the naked eye.
Definitely a very bright thing. It's the brightest thing in the sky after the moon.
Okay. Okay.
And the sun, of course.
If you had a telescope, what would it look like through the telescope?
Venus, that's a great question. Venus actually has phases like the moon does. So honestly, I don't know what the phase is on July 20th, but you can see it. You could see a half Venus or a three-quarter Venus, just like you would the moon.
Amazing. Okay.
With a telescope.
Okay, and then let's see the Andromeda Galaxy.
Andromeda Galaxy. So again, Andromeda starts making its appearance in the summer.
Okay.
And it is in the northeast, and you can see with the naked eye in a very dark sky site. I keep saying that, but good binocular. Get out with the binoculars and find Andromeda. That's totally fun.
Amazing. Yeah. It sounds to me like we have a lot that not only is potentially visible, but of course in the month of July, that's when we have some of our best weather.
Yes.
So we actually will potentially be able to see what we're talking about here. Yeah. So that's incredible.
There's a lot of great stuff in the winter too, but it's cold and
cloudy,
and you can go out in the winter as well. And it gets dark earlier, which is nice.
Yes, right. You have to wait so long for it to actually be dark to see these things.
That's right.
And we talk about pre-dawn.
Pre-dawn.
That's one of the best times to see a lot of these things.
If you can get up early, and I have a hard time doing that sometimes, but if you can get up early and go out there and take a look at Venus or the crescent moon early in the morning in July, beautiful.
So it's not necessarily staying up late. Get up early.
Get up early on this one.
Okay, I love it. Keith, thank you so much. All right, still ahead after the break, we are going to sit down with two scientists who helped with the creation of a massive new telescope just launched. We'll talk about the incredible images already captured and new out-of-this-world secrets that are now being revealed. A brand new telescope is officially up and running, and this is giving a new clear look at everything from distant stars and galaxies to asteroids flying through the solar system. The Reuben telescope just went online at the end of June. It sits on a mountain in Chile, and for the next 10 years will collect images of space from the largest digital camera on Earth. It's the size of a small car. This is huge global news, and it is so exciting that we actually have people who helped make this project a reality right here locally. University of Washington professor Mario Jurek and affiliate professor Sarah Greenstreet join me now. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Great to be here.
I'm so excited to talk about all things Reuben. We've been talking about this for a while now, and I know it has been even longer for both of you. So let's first talk about what this project means for knowledge of outer space as a whole.
So Reuben Observatory will develop the deepest, widest, longest time-lapse movie of the universe. So we're going to see the volumes of space that we've never seen before. We're going to image all that with a big digital camera. We're going to put it in a computer. We're going to let all the astronomers in the world derive wonderful science out of it over the next 10 years.
Wow. And you both helped make this a reality. I know the last couple of weeks have probably been a whirlwind for you. You've hosted multiple events at University of Washington, from a watch party for the unveiling to a presentation about your work. In fact, you actually got a standing ovation after one of those presentations. Let's take a quick look at that. Oh, that's incredible. Okay, so what was this presentation?
Yeah, this was on Thursday at University of Washington in Kane Hall. It's one of the largest classrooms we have, or lecture rooms, and I think we had about 550 people register. We had to open overflow space. It was amazing. It was the first time we showed here in Seattle the first images from the observatory.
Oh, that's incredible. Okay, and Sarah, I want to hear a little about your involvement, your past. What led you to, this is a global project, what led you both to become part of this project?
Yeah, so I have been a part of this project in various ways over the past 8 years or so, starting as a postdoc pretty quick out of grad school, and now being able to actually be one of the scientists working on the observatory, which has just been an incredible opportunity to be able to do.
So what was your kind of day-to-day involvement with this?
So I am part of what's called the Reuben Observatory Community Science Team, based at NOIR Lab, which is the National Astronomy Research Laboratory. We help make sure that the science community has access to all of the data, knows how to get access to all of the data and the images that are coming from the observatory, and how to do science with all of those images and that information.
Yeah, incredible. And Mario, what has your involvement been like?
So my specialty is astronomical software. So these observatories these days, we take lots and lots of images. So what we do is we don't look at them anymore. We teach computers how to look at them and to tell us what's interesting. So the team that I lead here at the University of Washington, and for that throughout the U.S. Actually used to run the entire data management team for Reuben. We try to make that kind of software, those kinds of algorithms, so that we know what's the most interesting thing in that data set.
Okay, interesting. So how many human eyes are looking at all of these visuals versus AI eyes?
There will be hundreds, probably tens of thousands of human eye pairs, but there's so much data that even if every human on Earth wanted to look at these images, we wouldn't have enough time.
Oh my goodness.
So this is going to be I think probably the first survey where we have so much data that absolutely without computers wouldn't be able to do it.
Wow. And let's talk about some of the images that have already come out so far. It seems like immediately we got this incredible perspective. What have we seen so far that maybe we were expecting or were not expecting?
So what we've seen are the two images we've released so far have one of the deepest looks in the cosmos in an area of the sky called the Virgo cluster. It's over 25 square degrees. It goes down to the depths where we see stars that are, and apologies for the lingo, but 25th, 26th magnitude. Goes away all the way to perhaps 1 billion years or so away from the Big Bang. We see tens of millions of galaxies in there. And what's really impressive about that image is that it is made in essentially only a night worth of observing. And Reuben is going to observe for 10 years. What you see there, we're going to image 750 times as much.
Yeah. And I heard you say something, Mario, about how in history, our data collection of outer space, it just felt so slow. But how much has this sped up that process?
It's sped it up incredibly. So one of the other things we've shown is that we can discover asteroids with this observatory. And we put out the discovery of the first 2,000 asteroids. And to give you a sense of that, it took us about a night of observing to find those 2,000. Before Reuben, in the entire year, the entire world finds about 20,000 asteroids.
Wow.
So once Reuben is on the sky in the next year, we're going to double the number of known asteroids. And it took us 225 years to discover the first 1.5 million. The next year, we're going to discover the next 1.5 million.
Oh,
so it's amazing.
That's incredible. Sarah, what has been most interesting or surprising for you since this has gone online?
I think these asteroid discoveries have been really exciting. I am a solar system astronomer, and so studying these asteroids is what I do. And so having this be just the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to find with the Reuben Observatory. As Mario said, this was just one small patch of sky over just a couple hours of taking images, and we found thousands of asteroids. And as we scan the sky with the Reuben Observatory for 10 years, we're going to find millions of these asteroids. We're going to be able to understand so much more about the solar system, basically be forced to rewrite all of the textbooks about everything that we know about the solar system and how it formed and what its history has been over time as well in the past 4.5 billion years.
That's
it's really exciting.
It's incredible. And I know you two have been just so deep in this project. What do you think maybe the general population, what is the big takeaway for them? What's their big thing that they can learn and know from this?
There's actually ways that we have for the public to get involved in this project. We have what are called citizen science projects, which essentially are designed to use the power of the people, lots and lots of people, to help us do science with these images that we get from the observatory that we wouldn't be able to do unless we had a lot of people looking at them. And there's actually one that's going to be released on Monday that is going to allow people to help find comets in these images from the Reuben Observatory. And so anyone who wants to help discover a brand new comet in our solar system, I know I do, should watch for that release that's coming out on Monday and help us, because we need everybody's help in order to find these comets.
I love that. Do you get naming rights?
So naming of asteroids and comets in the solar system is kind of a complicated process, but you might get to be a part of the process and help make that decision.
I'm going to say we're trying to make it so.
We're trying to make it simple.
Okay, I'd like Leah's comet personally. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing, and anyone can go online and view this themselves. We talked about the citizen science, but how do people access the visuals of what we've captured from the Reuben so far?
If you go to skyviewer.app, you're going to find a website with all the images we've released so far. You'll be able to zoom in, to pan, to look at all those galaxies, see how many you can see. There's about 10 million of them. How much time do you have?
Oh my
It's
goodness.
incredible.
This is truly incredible. Congratulations to both of you for getting this up and running. I know I'm excited. I can't even imagine how you feel to see what this unveils through the next couple of days, weeks, months, years. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, still ahead after the break, we've talked about all things going on in the sky. Keith is back. He joins me to talk about the Seattle Astronomical Society and different events that you can attend if you want to check out some of these incredible things in the sky. Stay with us. Welcome back. Keith joins me once again. Like we said, Keith is a NASA ambassador and works to educate people in the community on all things outer space, but you're also a member of the Seattle Astronomical Society.
Yes.
And that's a group of sky enthusiasts who come together for sky parties, and we call them star parties, educational opportunities. So let's talk about all the events coming up in the month of July and what's going on. Let's start with July 11th. You're leading this one in Woodinville.
Yes, I do a monthly introduction to the night sky. It's free and open to the public.
Okay.
And it's about 90 minutes. And then if it's nice, we'll have some telescopes out on the lawn.
Oh, amazing. Okay, and then we have a couple also in Bonnie Lake and Shoreline on the July 19th, July 26th. We have one at Snoqualmie Point Park. So these are just going to be great events for people to come out and come together and look at the sky together, right?
Yeah, we'll have quite a few telescopes out, for whoever shows up. So the ones like at up north at Shoreline, they're usually very popular. We usually have a couple hundred people that come to those. So please come out. We have lots of telescopes and everybody loves showing them off.
Amazing. Oh, so fun. I love it. Okay, so great to get out with people. Okay, that does it for us on this July edition of The Sky Above, where we talk about all things astronomy heading your way in the upcoming month so you know when to look up. I am your host, Leah Pizzetti. We will see you next month.